Welcome back. I don't know what I just watched. It's not on this board. It's on the other board. But what happened? Like I just if that happened to Vancouver, be some emotions in this review. Let's just put it that way. All right, so we're going to start things off by looking at Philadelphia and Buffalo. Sabres fans are all excited like they're going to make the playoffs. And, I feel bad because just looking at the math, looking at the schedule, looking at just the odds of them making it are so slim. But there's people like, oh, no, clearly they're going to make it. Like a few days ago it was Pittsburgh. A week ago it was Washington. Before that it was Detroit. And it changes from day to day. So it's Fedotov versus Luukkonen. And I've already seen people saying, oh, Fedotov sucks. It's one game. Anyways, there's a power play for Philly. Does it suck? Well, York's denied. It's killed off, so yes. The Flyers press after it's done. The shots are 4-1 for the Flyers at 9 minutes. And then Thompson's allowed to just walk this one around Fedotov and put it in the net. So this is on the defensive coverage, this one. Peterka and Tuck with the assists at 10:01. And don't look now, but Tage Thompson's totals have been pretty good lately. He's been playing well. And by the end of the season, I don't think his numbers are going to look that bad. Sabres press for another. There's more pressure by them with 5.5 minutes left. The Flyers get some pressure with 3 minutes left. Konechny has a one-timer that's saved in the last minute. With 15 seconds left, the Flyers get their second and final power play. In fact, there weren't any other power plays in this game. Does it suck? Well, it rolls over into the second period. Buffalo's up 1-0. Sabres finish the kill, so yep, it sucks. Tippett has a rush chance that's held. The power play committed tonight with a 12.9% rating. So they're 32nd, and they're really easily 32nd in the league. Lixell's denied. UPL holds. And I have to say, when an announcer says, I have to work on pronouncing that name, and Rob Ray, the color guy, goes, nah, don't worry about it. Like, just nah, you don't worry about pronouncing the name right. Just don't worry about it. I don't know why it gave me a laugh. The shots were 6-0 for the Flyers 2.5 minutes in. Flyers weren't letting the Sabres get any zone time. Forrester's denied from the slot. The Flyers would press. And at 9:07, Cates goes far corner from the right circle. Tippett and York with the assists. It's a 1-1 tie. Tuck to Thompson. That gets picked off. The Sabres press with 6.5 minutes left. We then get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And Dahlin, who's having a ridiculous year. He scores from Thompson at 14:51. He wires that one from the high slot. That's a 4-on-4 goal. We keep talking about all these defensemen and Norris Trophy stuff. I'm sorry, but if you look at Dahlin's numbers, you look at his hits, you look at shot blocks and everything, Dahlin might be the best all-around defenseman in the league right now that people aren't talking about. So the Flyers press for a response, but in the waning seconds at 19:54, Quinn goes top corner from the slot on a rush. So again, I thought the defensive coverage was an issue for Philly tonight. Benson and Power with the assists. Your score is 3-1 for Buffalo after 2. Third period. Sabres press at 1.5. Sealer has a shot that deflects high. The shots are only one apiece, 6.5 minutes in. Flyers press at 7 minutes, but at 9:19, Tippett finally wires one past a screen. Sanheim and Lawton with the assists. It's 3-2 for Buffalo with that goal. We have a near miss for Cousins on an open net. The shots are 6-3 for the Flyers with 6.5 minutes left. At 13:59, Quinn buries his own rebound at the net. Benson and Cousins with the assists makes it 4-2. Goalie pull would happen with 4 minutes left. With 2:28 left, the Sabres ice it. They ice it again with 1:31 left. But in the end, they win this one 4-2. They go to 37-35-5 with the win. The Flyers 36-30-11. They have officially fallen out of that number 3 spot in their division as the Islanders take that spot for now. Shots on net, 10-4 Philly in the first, 13-8 Philly in the second, 11-7 Philly in the third. The final shot's 34-19 for the Flyers. Power plays 0-2 for Philly. Buffalo didn't have one. Hits 43-35 Philly. Fedotov saves 15 out of 19. I know it's an ugly stat line. I'm not saying all of them were great goals, but it's not always on the goaltending in Philly. I think Ersson's played well this year too. Just at any rate, Luukkonen saves 32 out of 34 in the victory. Luukkonen's been on quite the run for quite some time now. All right, next up. Washington and Carolina. It was Kemper versus Kochetkov. Pacioretty has a chance in close. That saved. And then Ovechkin gets his 850th goal. He scores that from Strome and Van Riemsdyk at 3:31. Buries a rebound in close. It's 1-0 Capitals. Shots were 3 apiece at 5.5 minutes. We then get a power play for the Caps. There's a shorthanded rush by Aho. Teravainen's denied. That power play's killed off. Things get punchy on a hold by Kemper. The Canes press with 6 minutes left. The Caps get stuck on 3 shots for a while. Burns is denied then as the Canes press, and in the final minute, Ovechkin gets goal number 851. So he's really getting within striking distance of Gretzky now. Carlson and Strome with the assists at 19:15. The Canes look to respond, but in a very Washington period, they get outplayed badly, and they have a lead. So I'm like, yep, it tracks. That's the Caps. Second period, we have a power play for Carolina. Natchez has a shot that's blocked and cleared. Power play's killed off. 3 shots on that power play, though. Shots are 5-1 Carolina at 5.5 minutes. Chatfield fires one high on a 3-on-2. Canes press at 3 minutes. More pressure for them at 7 minutes. One thing that the Canes didn't do that other teams have done against the Caps is get frustrated and change the way they're playing to try to get those goals. And sometimes the Caps with a counterattack can get an extra one. So Slavin has a slap shot kicked aside. The Caps are busy turning it over, and we end up with a power play for Carolina. Teravainen couldn't bury one. Aho's denied. That power play's killed off. With 6 minutes left, the shots are 13-3 for Carolina. And at 14:30, Gensel scores from Slavin and Fost. And then the Canes look to tie it. So again, a lot of momentum for Carolina. 3:43 left. The Caps get a power play. There's a shorthanded break for Aho. That's saved. Power play's killed off. 1 shot on net. Canes press in the final minute, but it is 2-1 for the Caps after 2. Third period. Canes press at 2 minutes. The shots are 6-2 for Carolina 5 minutes in. The Canes press at 7.5 minutes. Van Riemsdyk has a shot that's held as the Capitals get some pressure. We have a power play for the Caps. It becomes 14 seconds of 4-on-4, and as it becomes a power play for the Canes, Natchez scores from Shea and Kuznetsov at 11:40. So that ties the game up. The Canes press with 5 minutes left. With 2:19 left, the Canes get a power play. They were just not going to be denied. Aho buries a rebound. Burns and Gensel with the assists at 18:09. So Washington has to pull the goalie. Gensel hits the empty net for his second goal of the game and his third point. Slavin with the assist, and that's at 19:54 to make your final score 4-2. The Canes go to 48-22-7 with the win. With the loss, the Capitals 36-30-10. They've now lost 3 in a row in regulation. Shots on net favored Carolina badly all the way through. 18-6 in the first, 14-4 in the second, 13-6 in the third. Final shots 45-16 for Carolina. Power plays 0-3 for Washington, 2-4 for Carolina. Hits 17-15 for the Caps. Kemper saved 41 out of 44. He was very good. Kochetkov wasn't all that busy. 14 saves on 16 shots. All right, next up, the Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings. Now, I've seen people talking about, oh, they all lost tonight. The Wings gave it a fight. And again, this is a team that's probably going to win the President's Trophy. So, feel bad for the Rangers. They're not going to win the Cup if they do that. But at any rate, it was Quick versus Lyon. Early press by the Rangers, but the only shot on net was for Detroit 4 minutes in. The Rangers press at 5.5 minutes. At 5:58 on a turnover, Cooley buries one. It was only the second shot on net for the Rangers. So it's 1-0 New York. But Andrew Kopp would answer. He gets one from Veleno and Sider at 7:09 to tie it up. Shots are 6-2 for the Wings at 8.5 minutes. We had a fight between Gaudreau and Fabry. The Rangers come out of that with a power play. That was killed off. Lafreniere's denied right after. We have a power play for Detroit. Raymond couldn't bury one from the doorstep. That gets killed off. The Wings press with 2 minutes left, but at 19:31, Gaudreau gets a goal in the final minute. Vesey and Brodzinski with the assists. It's 2-1 for the Rangers after 1. Second period, early press by Detroit. Perron was denied, and then Compher. It goes in off of his skate. Petrie and Perron with the assists at 1:24. It's a 2-2 tie. Rangers look to respond. We get a power play for New York. Panarin has a one-timer. That's saved. Power play's killed off. Sprong has a net feed. That's blocked. Shots are 9-4 for the Rangers at 9 minutes. Veleno has a rush chance. That's saved. Lafreniere's denied. Lyon holds on there. So Lafreniere had opportunities tonight. Just couldn't get a point. We then get a power play for Detroit, and they score on it. Larkin gets his 30th. He buries a rebound. Perron and Gostisbehere with the assists at 13:19. But it's a 3-on-2 rush the next shift, and Gaudreau scores. Same assists to Vesey and Brodzinski at 13:44. So that gives the Rangers a tie once again at 3-3. Compher's then denied. Quick holds there, but it's 3-3 after 2. Third period. Petrie has a screenshot that's held. The shots are 2 apiece, 3.5 minutes in. The Rangers press at 4.5 minutes. Wings have a 2-on-1. That's broken up. Then we get a power play for New York. And Kreider goes around line and buries one. Zibanejad and Panarin with the assists at 10:14. Panarin, He's not going to reach Yager's record for points in a season for the Rangers, but man, he's had an amazing season for New York. We get a power play for Detroit. That's killed off. The goalie pull happens with 2:45 left. Kane to Fabry. There's a near miss there, but the Rangers hold on. They win 4-3. They go to 52, 21-4 with the win. With the loss, Detroit 37, 31-8 on the season. Shots on net, 14-13 Rangers in the first, 14-10 Rangers in the second, 11-10 Detroit in the third. Final shots, 38-34 for the Rangers. Power plays, both teams go 1 for 3. The hits, 22-18 Detroit. Quick save 31 out of 34. Lions save 34 out of 38. And with the results that happened tonight, both Toronto and Tampa Bay have clinched without playing a minute tonight. So a lot less stress for them tomorrow trying to win games to clinch. Tampa's in Pittsburgh tomorrow and Toronto's in Montreal. So at any rate, those are the teams that clinched in the East. Who clinched in the West? I feel like I should start here. I'm not going to, but I feel like I should start here. This feels like CSI should be in here talking about this. Maybe Criminal Minds. But at any rate, we're going to talk about Colorado-Edmonton first. It was Georgiev versus Skinner. Remember, there's no goalie controversy in Colorado. We promise you, Georgiev's the starter because Coach Bednar said so. 152 in, Perry tips one in past Georgiev, Nurse and Ceci with the assists. We have a power play for the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins has a screenshot that's held. That power play's killed off. The shots are 4-1 for the Oilers, 5.5 minutes in. Fogle has a rush chance that saved. The Oilers go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. And then after it's killed, at 11:58, Drouin puts one top corner from the left circle. McKinnon with the assist. So it's a tie game. The Avs then get a power play. There was a shorthanded crossbar for Ceci. That power play gets killed off. But not long after it's done, at 15:59, Nichushkin scores from Lehkonen and Makar. So it's a 2-1 lead for Colorado. 17-18 into the period, McDavid would answer from Ekholm and Draisaitl. It's a wraparound that ends up being deflected in. But with the luck McDavid's been getting this year, these things happen. So it's a 2-2 tie after one. Second period, the Oilers press at 2 minutes. The fans call one. The referee doesn't. Not long after, the Oilers do get a power play. There's a near miss for Draisaitl. There was a shorthanded fast break for Wood that saved. Miles Wood just can't buy a break right now. That's killed off. The Oilers press after it's done. The shots are 5-2 Edmonton at 6.5 minutes. The Oilers score. There's a goalie interference challenge, but it counts. So Ekholm gets this goal from Draisaitl and Bouchard at 8:55. And it was an important goal because Draisaitl gets his 500th assist on that goal. And that's not this year. That's his career. He doesn't have that many this season. So just to clarify, it's just his career. So the Oilers end up getting that power play. That's killed off by the Avs. It's the one thing that worked well for the Avs tonight was their penalty kill. Rantanen never returned from the hit by Ekholm that ended up putting the Oilers on a power play because they didn't like the hit Ekholm put on Rantanen. It was a clean hit, but the Avs didn't like it. So we'll find out pretty soon on how long Rantanen might be out, but he did not return to the game. McLeod then has a rush chance that's saved, and at 19:58, so waning seconds, Evander Kane gets his first goal in 22 games. He gets a rebound to go in. McLeod and Ceci with the assists. It is a 4-2 score in favor of the Oilers after two. Third period, early Bouchard blast is saved. The shots are 3-1 Oilers at 3 minutes. At 4:05, McDavid scores to make it 5-2 from Bouchard. The Avs then look to respond. We get a power play for Colorado. That's killed off. The Avs go back to the power play, which the crowd didn't like, but that's killed off as well. McDavid's then denied on a rush, and then Kane deflects one 5-hole on a rush from McLeod at 11:59. We get a power play for the Oilers. That's killed off, but it takes 2 minutes off the clock, and in the end, the Avs didn't really have much in that third period. Your final score is 6-2. The Oilers go to 46-24-5. They clinch a playoff spot with this result. The Avs 48-23-6, and this hurts the Avs in their chase against the Dallas Stars. They now have 5 games left. Dallas has 6, and they're 3 points behind Dallas. Shots on net favor the Oilers the whole way through. 16-6 in the first, 14-9 in the second, 16-8 in the third. Final shots 46-23 for the Oilers. Power plays, Colorado 0-3, Edmonton 0-5. The hits 34-18 for the Avs. Georgiev saves 40 out of 46. Skinner saved 21 out of 23. So Skinner wasn't overly busy, but I thought he was good when he needed to be, and the Oilers get a big result. All right, next up, Seattle and Anaheim. So it's Grubauer versus Dostal in this one. Bjorkstrand has a shot that's blocked and cleared. Killorn's denied on a rush. Tanev had a sharp angle shot that's held. The Kraken draw a power play. That's killed off. Just the one shot. The shots were actually 3-2 for the Ducks at 8.5 minutes. We get a power play for Anaheim. There's a nice glove save on Zegers. That power play's killed off. Killorn then has a rush chance that's blocked. Bjorkstrand's denied. Dostal holds there. But then Wright buries one in close. Shane Wright's looking pretty good since his call-up. Bjorkstrand and Dumoulin with the assists at 16:08. Wright then almost added another the next shift. The Kraken would press with 2 minutes left, but they were up 1-0 after the first. Second period, Schultz fires one high as Seattle gets some pressure. And then at 2:29, Wright goes short side from in close. Schwartz and Schultz with the assists. So it's 2-0 Seattle, and the shots were 3-1 in their favor 6 minutes in. We then get a power play for the Kraken, and they score on it. Matty Beniers from Wright and Bjorkstrand at 11:40. So Wright with 2 goals and an assist tonight. Yeah, I think the kid's ready. Things get punchy on the next whistle. The Kraken come out of that with a power play. It then becomes a minute and 8 seconds of 5-on-3. So the referee sucks. That's what the crowd told him. Everything gets killed off there, but the shots are 9-1 for Seattle with 4.5 minutes left. Leo Carlsson then on a turnover scores at 16:35. It was a nice goal too. And then the Ducks look for another. However, we get a post from McCann on a rush. It is 3-1 for Seattle after 2. Third period. There's an early post for Bjorkstrand. McCann's denied as the Kraken press. Lagesson has a chance that's blocked. The Ducks had no shot 7 minutes in. The Kraken press at 8.5 minutes. The Ducks press back with 9 minutes left. The shots were 4-1 for Seattle with 6.5 minutes left. Seattle didn't get another shot. The goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left. With 2:32 left, the Kraken get a power play, and they just played pass because you don't need to worry about getting another goal. You're up by 2. You got 2.5 minutes left. Just pass the puck around. It's what they did. And even though that was killed off, in the end, your final score is 3-1. Seattle goes to 32, 31, and 13 with the win. The Ducks 25, 48, and 4. Seattle will be sad they don't get to play the Ducks again this season. Shots on net favored Seattle the whole way. 12-9 in the first, 11-3 in the second, 4-3 in the third. Final shots 27-15 Seattle. Power plays Seattle 1 for 5. Anaheim only had the 1. Next season, Anaheim has to stop taking penalties because it's ridiculous. Hits 42-30 for Anaheim. Grubauer 14 saves on 15 shots. Not busy. Dostal was good. He was busier. 24 saves on 27 shots. All right. Now, there's a reason people are going to come to this video. So, welcome. I'm sure there's a lot of people just going to hit that little chapter. And we're going to talk about this. Thompson versus Vejmelka. I wish I had the Law and Order noise from the start of the show because I feel like this is criminal. So, Thompson versus Vejmelka. There's an early power play for Vegas. That's killed off. The shots are 2-0 Vegas at 3.5 minutes. They get some pressure 4.5 minutes in. Cooley to Krause gets picked off. There's a press by the Coyotes at 9 minutes. Marchessault has a rush chance that's blocked. The shots are 8-3 for the Coyotes with 8 minutes left. I didn't think much of it because Vegas has rough times at points in almost every game. They usually overcome that. Kesselring with a near miss as the Coyotes press. There's more pressure by Arizona with 3 minutes left. With 2:06 left, the Coyotes get a power play. That's killed off. It's 0-0 after 1. Second period. Early power play for Vegas. There's a nice blocker save on Eichel. Puck's cleared out. It's killed off. Vejmelka holds on after. Hanifin has a shot that's held as Vegas presses. And then at 6:17 on a wrist shot, his first goal in 12 games, Kerfoot scores from Carconi and Kesselring. Carconi had himself a game. Vegas presses at 6.5 minutes, and eventually they score. It's Eichel burying a rebound, McNabb and Theodore with the assists at 7:39. Vegas presses for the lead. They get a power play. That's killed off, but after it's done, at 11:08, William Karlsson scores from Brisson and Theodore. So it's a 2-1 lead for Vegas, and then at 14:37, Mantha scores from Karlsson and Dorofeyev. It's 3-1. At 18:08, Stevenson goes backhand on a rush. He makes it 4-1 from Cotter and Whitecloud. That's when I put the records at the top of the game, and I'm like, yeah, that game's done. Both of these games are finished. I was wrong. I was very much wrong. So it's 4-1 for Vegas after the second period. You can't blow a 3-goal lead in Arizona, right? If this had happened to Vancouver the other night, I'd still be not happy. So third period, early press by Arizona, but the shots are 2-1 for Vegas at 4.5 minutes. Good flow. And I felt like Vegas was doing a good job of killing the clock at that point. Each team's playing dump and chase. So dump the puck in, see if you get it. If you don't, it's out. And very often it was out. There wasn't any real sustained pressure. But Doan has one deflect in. So Josh Doan has 3 goals in 6 games. McBain and Michelli with the assists at 8:19. And then on a rush, Bjugstad roofs one. Keller and Schmaltz with the assists at 9:16. So now that it's 4-3, Bruce Cassidy calls a timeout because Vegas was needing to wake up. It really didn't work. Like, spectacularly didn't work. 10 seconds after, I'm sure the Coyotes probably enjoyed having a bit of a break because Carcone scores from O'Brien from a sharp angle. That you can't score that. Logan Thompson's had a ridiculous run, but that shouldn't happen. Thompson did not have his sharpest period of hockey. Power play for Vegas, that's killed off. Vegas scores after. Martinez scored, and I was like, okay, they're going to pull this off. It's a 5-4 lead. However, offside challenge, and offside challenges usually work, and in this case it did. Vegas presses with 6 minutes left, but at 14:47, Carcone has one bounce in off Whitecloud. So it goes in off Whitecloud's leg, and Kerfoot and Dermott with the assists. And then at 15:48, Brown scores from Keller and Schmaltz. The Arizona Coyotes scored on 4 straight shots. They had 5 goals on 6 shots at that point. Well, on their last 6 shots. So, not great. And then the goalie pull happens, and I thought, okay, well, it's Vegas maybe. But at 17:25, Logan Cooley ends any hope of a comeback. He scores from Krause and Gunther. And then we end up with a Coyotes power play with 33.8 seconds left. But your final score is 7-4. That is 6 goals in the third period for Arizona. That's like a week's worth of scoring for them. They go to 32, 39, and 5. I think they'd lost 22 out of 30 coming into this one. For Vegas, 42, 26, and 8. They lose 2 points on Edmonton. They don't gain any ground on Vancouver. They now go to Vancouver on Monday, and then they play in Edmonton after that. So now those are must-win games if they have any hopes of moving up in the standings, at least when it comes to the playoffs. Shots on net, 14-3 Arizona in the first, 16-8 Vegas in the second, 11-5 for Arizona in the third, meaning there were 41 shots at one end of the ice and 16 at the other end. So either you sat at an end where you see all kinds of action and goals, or you're sitting there going, I don't know what all the big fuss is. So power plays, 0-4 for Vegas, 0-2 for Arizona. Hits, 41-36 for the Coyotes. Logan Thompson, 26 saves on 32 shots. Vejmelka saved 20 out of 24. Bonkers game. Bonkers. I would expect Vegas to bounce back in a big way on Monday. I hope Vancouver brings their A game. The Canucks are in LA tomorrow, so after that they come home and they play against Vegas. That could be a big one. Could be a fun game. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, if the Canucks blew a 3-goal lead in Arizona, I probably would have needed a bit before I would have started filming the review, but didn't happen. I suddenly feel better about the Canucks eking out a win over Arizona because that's kind of ugly. But thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.